Welcome back, bigots. I didn't expect to do a third video on this subject matter, but it is extremely important to at least highlight while I get into some of the other stuff. I'm going to be talking about Collective Shout just very limitedly. I'm going to be discussing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto 6, but most importantly, I will be discussing something that Asmongold has said recently that I completely disagree with, and you'll see why in a moment. So first, let's get to the news at hand. Check out this article. It reads, UK's Online Safety Act censors the internet. A preview of US proposals. And yes, the United States is proposing some of this craziness that you're seeing in the UK. And maybe I'll get to more of that in a future video. But this article basically just outlines some of the censoring that they plan on doing. The most important part I have highlighted because it jives with what I've been saying in my past 2 videos. In fact, it proves what I have said is true. So let's read it together. It even includes content which realistically, here comes the important part, depicts serious violence against a fictional creature. Fictional creatures. The creatures don't even have to be real, but if it's even remotely violent, they want to ban it. That's what I told you would happen in my past 2 videos. I told you that if Collective Shout actually gets a win, then their win is going to snowball, it's going to domino effect, and they're going to go after everything else. It's not just the adult content that they're after. They're going to want to censor everything that we like, including games like Doom, Dusk, Sleeping Dogs, Grand Theft Auto. Think of a game, any game, that has anything remotely next to violent. Heck, it could be Mario Brothers. After all, you do jump on Goombas and squash them. Could that be considered violent? And you think I'm using a little sarcasm just to be funny. And I'm not. This is the type of thing that they would actually do. Because it's ludicrous. So I warned everybody. I warned everybody that this would happen. But let's go on, because it gets even weirder. The EU, according to this article here, the EU revives plan to ban private messaging. Listen to this. The EU is inching toward the biggest peacetime surveillance experiment in its history, with plans to quietly search every private message before you hit send. Wow. We have gone past 1984 levels of Orwellian totalitarianism. I mean, there's not much else I can say about that. I mean, read that article yourself. I did. It's explosively crazy. But let's continue. This guy named Dublane said this. I'm not going to read the cursing because, I try to keep my channel clean. So, there you go. But, what the heck? This person was locked out of the NVIDIA app because you have to be 18 or older to use it. The NVIDIA app. Just to mess with your computer settings, your graphics settings and such. Nope. Not allowed to do that unless you're 18 now in the UK. This is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. And I captured a screenshot here that I'm going to discuss that I think is important because it highlights a few things. So Emerald Apple here. I like this person. They always say very nice, very intelligent things. Pretty. I don't know. There's a she in the profile, so I'm just used to calling it a she because who knows? It could be a dude. I don't know. But anyway, Emerald Apple says this: feminist censorship groups are popping up like weeds. Sweet Baby Inc. and Collective Shout are on the way out. Now we have Fight the New Drugs, another feminist group doing the same thing. The question is, and this is the most important part, the question is, where are they getting all their money without US aid? The answer is that many governments around the world have similar programs to US aid, pushing these nonprofits and censorship groups, all in the name of Think of the Children. Now, this is a question that I've been asking for a long time, too. Where the heck are they getting the money? So I have another answer on top of what Emerald Apple has said. My answer is, I'll put it in a question. I'll phrase it in a question. Do you think USAID is the only program that America has? Oh, there's more. There has got to be more. It would be foolish of all of us to think that they don't have another program like USAID. And, just for reminder's sake, remember that Since we found out about USAID, we also discovered that feminist frequency was getting paid through our tax dollars using USAID. So Emerald Apple isn't off the mark here. Just right on the mark. These feminist programs have been funded using our tax dollars. And who knows how many other pyramid schemes are out there to finance this type of propaganda. Which is why I've been saying for a while now on Gab and on X, I've been saying that this is how they've been funding all the woke slop. It's not because these businesses think it's the new hotness. That's not true. Now, I have a friend. I'm going to be very brief about this. I have a friend that used to work for Blizzard Entertainment. He's my best friend. He was my best man at my wedding. I've known this guy for over 25 years. So this is a real person I've known for a very long time. He used to work for Blizzard Entertainment. And his argument used to be something somewhere along the lines of, these executives are just told what's the new hotness and just to go after this because that's where the money's at. I disagree. I think they know. I think they've been paid off. And they're not ones to turn down another couple million. So they'll keep their mouth shut and just make these really stupid decisions because they're getting paid off. It's my own personal opinion. You may have your own opinion, and that's mine. But this entire conversation brings up another really good point. And here's another good point. And just like me to bring up a little, to pop up a little brevity in these dark times. But I want to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6 for a little bit. GameSpot said this not too long ago. They said, a new report states that Rockstar is taking care not to punch down with jokes about marginalized groups, which would be a change from past games that poked fun at all manner of people. Now, there's a few things about this comment that I want to reply to. One is all manner of people. Yes, GTA used to make fun of everyone, but that's not good enough. You're not allowed to make fun of everyone. There are certain groups that must be excluded from poking fun at. That's where we are. That's where the social justice warrioring is at. That's where all of this has headed. And it's going to continue to go that way. Because they're that crazy. They legitimately believe that you're allowed to make fun of white people. That's allowed. That's always okay. But you're not allowed to make fun of certain groups of people. That's not allowed. The other thing I wanted to say about this is more adjacent to Grand Theft Auto 6, which is, and this is the funny part. This is where I started cracking myself up when I was thinking about this. So just hear me out on this. What if, and I'm just spitballing here, what if Rockstar and Take-Two jumped through as many hoops as they could to punch, up instead of punching down, and they sanitized their humor to be palatable to everyone? What if they went through all of that trouble, and then Collective Shout shows up and bans their game anyway? They can't even sell their new game, even though they jumped through all the right hoops and made all the right people happy. Their game still gets banned because it's naughty. Yeah, that is a laugh track waiting to happen. That is a broken record of a laugh track waiting to happen. That's great. Okay, so now here's the more important part. I want you to listen to what Asmon has to say here. I usually agree with this guy, but sometimes he says things that I totally disagree with, and you'll see why in just a moment. So listen to what he has to say. It's only a minute and a half long. I'll listen to the whole thing, and then I will respond at the other side.
Reviewers tweet that Congress is trying to pass a bill called Kids Online Safety Act and drop a video. Oh, look, I think that kids should not be on. I think all social media websites should be read-only, and you should only be able to access them if you use a government ID. And it should be checked by a third-party website. And if you're not above the age of consent, at like 18 in America, you shouldn't be able to use the social media website. Yep, and I'm totally fine with kids getting on the internet, not making accounts, but whenever read-only. Well, hold on. Everybody says L. Can you give me the benefit of a 15-year-old girl on Instagram? What's the benefit there? Why should underage minors be on Instagram? There's no benefit. It opens them up for abuse, predatory behavior. How do you think all these girls know to make an OnlyFans when they turn 18? It's because they've had guys on Instagram and social media telling them that while they're underage. No. It's not good. I've got no problem, no issue at all with kids going on the internet. But to make an account and allow yourself to receive and send messages from individuals, that's different, especially on social media.
I can reply to what Asmon has just said here with one quote by Benjamin Franklin. Those who would give up liberty for safety deserve neither. Asmon, I believe you to be in error, and this is why. I love you, man, but this is why you're wrong. You want the easy way out. You don't want parents to just parent, and that's what should be happening right now. Parents need to step up their game and be parents. I know it's hard, but they're going to have to do it. Because once you relinquish what little liberty America still enjoys, once you give that up, Asmon, buddy, you're never going to see that liberty ever again. Once the government has control over your identity and can tell you what you are and are not allowed to view on your computer, it's going to hit you harder when it happens, and it's going to come out of nowhere. You think it's just going to be mundane things, but they're going to start blocking you from things that you thought were completely okay. They're going to do it, Asmon. This is how tyranny works. They scrape away at it bit by bit so you don't notice. And what you just said is repugnant to our Constitution and our civil liberties. I love you, man, but you're wrong here. You give an inch, and they will run a mile away from you with all that you had. That's all the time I have for today. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe. Do all the happy, fun, social stuff. Remember, I'm on Odyssey. I back up all my videos over there, so please make a spare account over there, just in case if YouTube comes along and decides to give me the axe. And like and subscribe. Please do that. That helps me out a lot. I like to give you different opinions. I don't like to just say what everybody else is saying. That's why I make my channel. And I will start streaming soon. I hope to start doing more streaming on a regular basis. I want to kind of fit that into my schedule. If I can, I will. But until next time, everybody, have fun.